Guys, the NHL 19 beta is here. I got to play a bunch last night, and I thought I'd give my super early takes on NHL 19 versus mode. So I'm going to go in detail about what's different, what's the same, what are the go-to goals, what aren't the go-to goals anymore, and something new that people are going to need to adjust with. So I'm No Sleeves 12, and this is NHL 19 versus review. So let me give everyone a 10-second basically review, if you weren't able to play Versus yesterday, of what it's like in NHL 19. So, I played 5 games yesterday, alright? I knew that poke-checking was turned up a ton. I played a bunch of 6s and whatnot, and I had seen the new changes in it, so I thought, I'm going to try something new when I go play Versus. I'm not going to touch R1, because the poke-check in this game is completely nerfed. That is the first major change. I've seen kind of mixed reviews. I want to say 80% positive, 20% negative. The people that are negative on it need to understand that we are so spoiled with the fact that we can just spam poke-check for 2 full games that you're not used to being, having realistic penalties. Anytime that you're stick and you're poke-checking someone's skates, it should be a trip. And in NHL 19, it appears that's how it's going to be. So I played 5 games. I did not touch R1 once, okay? As I didn't touch it at all, and I'm going to show you how to play without it in a little bit. But I went 5-0. I took 0 penalties. I had 47 power play opportunities. 5 games, guys. I took 0. They had 47. Okay, I had 2 goals scored against me. I averaged 10 minutes time on attack because everyone was on the penalty kill. And I played a couple of buddies that I actually know that I play in Versus in 18 that are very good. I actually had a couple message me during the game being like, what is this? What is going on? And it's all because the poke-check is completely nerfed in NHL 19. What I recommend, I don't know if it's going to be toned down. I've heard rumors that it's not going to be, and I'm completely okay with that. I think that when you poke-check, you need to be 100% certain that the puck and the opponent's stick is what's going to be hit first. If you're not, don't use it. Now, everyone's like, well, then how do you defend? Well, guys, here's what I meant in my other video about how there's going to be a skill gap in NHL 19. Because players that are elite at the game are amazing at controlling the puck and holding onto it, you're going to see a lot of separation at the top because guys that hold onto the puck and can control it most of the game, they're going to have tons of power play opportunities in 19, especially early on because so few people are used to this many penalties against using R1. Basically, what they implemented to, I don't want to say to counter this, but what you now need to do is using manual player change, something that is incredible that's finally in the game. If you hold R2 and flick the right thumbstick in whatever direction you want, that the player that you want to select, you will then choose that player. So if you're on the rush or you're in the defensive zone and someone's holding the puck on you just cycling around, you can hold R2 and hit up into the right, and you'll go from selecting the defenseman down in the left side of the boards to the top right winger, and that will allow you to then control how you want to play defensively so that you never get caught chasing. So the next change in 19 that I love personally is there's no more forehand switch on the backhand draw. Basically, if you line up backhand in 18 or 17, you line up backhand, and right before he goes to drop the puck, you switch to the forehand and win straight back. That allowed you to win every single draw on the backhand. That's no longer in the game, meaning that draws are going to be a lot more challenging. You're going to find some games where you run into someone who's very good on the draw, and he's going to be completely inside your head because there's only a few counters to each. My early takes are lining up forehand is the best. The reason for that is because if you line up forehand and they line up backhand, there's only one way that they can win that. So if you go forehand and do the tie up, so that's straight up, they really don't have a counter for that on the backhand, meaning that you're more than likely either going to tie the draw and it's going to be a convoluted mess where you don't get beat outright, or you're going to win. That said, that's something to watch for. The counters are going to be a lot, face-offs are going to be a lot more important now because you need to know every single counter. In 19, I'm definitely going to show you a couple videos on mentality and what to do in NHL 19 as far as face-offs go. As far as scoring in NHL 19, the oldies are kind of still there. I scored a lot of holding forehand, skating in front of the net, and kind of just like reaching around and putting it in. I scored a bunch like that. You come up from the goal line and just kind of hold forehand deke and just kind of reach it around. That one still works. The short side wrister, not as much as in the past games, which I enjoy. I'm glad that that's not there. Wraparounds, there's no more glitch wrap really. I tried a bunch and I couldn't get one to go. So that's extremely good news. I'm sure that there will be a few scored because it's still in the game and it is still an obvious way to score a goal in hockey. One-timer, still great. Now, even more so is tipping is back in this game. Tips will not just kill the puck anymore like they did in 18. I think this is going to be a balance. 17, they were super overpowered. In 18, they were completely destroyed. And I think 19, there's a very, very good balance. And I think that we're going to enjoy it a lot more because tips and shots from the point are actually effective again. And I don't just mean one-timers, so that is something to watch for. But again, yeah, short side wristers weren't anything special. I found coming down the wing with a correct-handed player, so a left-handed player coming down the left wing, and kind of doing a short side instead of going far side was a nice way to score. But outside of that, there isn't really any go-tos that are new. That I found a lot of the same from the previous games. But again, the ones that were brutal and people took advantage of a ton, those aren't really in it. The wraparounds, not really there. Same with the goal line glitch. I just did a video on that. I tried a bunch to do the goal line glitch, and the goalie doesn't really come off the post, so that's good news as well. So my early take on the meta and what everyone is going to use. I saw a lot of the same Pittsburgh, Winnipeg, and whatnot, but I think that everyone's going to use the Lightning. Again, rosters can change quite a bit considering the offseason still going on, but if they do get Erik Karlsson, I think Tampa is going to be the way to go early on in NHL 19. Again, this is just for versus. The problem is that you have to mess around with the roster a lot. There isn't a lot of right-handed shooting players, and you know that you still need to have the opposite-handed players shooting on the off wings. So yeah, but Tampa seems to be the go-to team just by rating wise. But again, it's up to you guys completely as to what you use. It's just they seem to have the higher ratings among all the other teams. It would be stupid of me not to discuss the skating in NHL 19. Guys, I've been saying this for weeks on Twitter and even in my other videos. If you guys weren't hyped for 19, I could understand from the past games letting you guys down. The new skating engine is amazing. The crossovers and acceleration and being able to juke left and right and it not feeling like you're turning a boat is amazing to play with. If you guys haven't got your chance to get into the beta, just please download it and play a couple games in 6s versus 1s. It doesn't matter. You're going to see the skating changes almost immediately, and it is fantastic. It is so much fun to actually be able to play a versus game and not have to have this slow, clunky, grindy game. This is fast, exciting, and it's super easily controlled. Something I do want to mention is that I think that the L1 half spin is going to be really effective in 19. One, because pochecks are super overpowered, as in they'll trip you instantly if you're doing any sort of deke. So if you're holding L1 and you're kind of skating in backwards, kind of messes up opponents. Same thing it does at 18, but this is going to be a much bigger crazy extent because of the penalties being turned way up. But again, that's just something kind of a take early on. But yeah, the skating is amazing, guys, and I hope you guys get a chance to actually try it out. So guys, that was my quick review of the beta so far for NHL 19 versus mode. Please try it out. I want you guys to go into a game and not touch R1. Attempt to not touch R1 at all. Instead, use holding R2 and use the right thumbstick to flick to the player that you want to control in the defensive zone to stop the chasing and whatnot. You're going to find that it's a little bit of an adjustment, but so much better, guys. So much better. And yeah, once you guys start laying off the R1, you're going to have a much better game. And I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. So again, I try to answer as many questions on Twitter, my YouTube, Reddit as I could yesterday. I am a game changer, so if any of you guys want to know some info and whatnot, if I can answer it, I will absolutely be on my phone all day and all weekend long to answer any of your questions. Just shoot me a message wherever you see my name, and I'll be happy to help. Again, all the things to follow me on are up top along the banner. Yeah, I'll be streaming probably tonight and throughout the weekend. And yeah, I'd love to play some games, maybe some ones. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys. Have a good one.